With the elections coming here in November, I was asked by somebody if I was going to share about Proposition 1. I responded, I don't know a whole lot of detail about Proposition 1 other than what I have seen, which is to vote yes on 1. But I do have a friend, a Belmont member, that I knew that I could ask about Proposition 1, and he would know everything there is to know because he was one of the senators that sponsored this particular bill. So I took a team and we went to the Capitol, met Senator Kerry Roberts. And in showing us the Capitol and talking to us about the General Assembly, he also spent a little bit of time giving us some information about Proposition 1. I'm here in the old Supreme Court chambers where the governor signed some of his bills into legislation. I'm here with Senator Kerry Roberts, who was one of the sponsors of what we know as Amendment 1 or Yes on 1. And I brought Kerry here to ask him, what is Amendment 1 and why is it important for us?
Well, Amendment 1 is very important because it protects the life of the unborn. And we have to go all the way back to the year 2000. There was a very, very important court case that was heard before the Tennessee Supreme Court. And that court case said that the right to an abortion in Tennessee is basically implicit in the Tennessee Constitution. And consequently, the legislation that the General Assembly had passed to require a waiting period or to have second trimester abortions done in hospitals and several things like that, they were all struck down as being unconstitutional. And so in effect, if the federal standard is up here, as established by Roe versus Wade or the United States Constitution, the Tennessee standard is down here. And so when all is said and done, it's almost like you have this Supreme Court ruling, which is kind of a rogue ruling. And it read things into the Tennessee Constitution that nobody ever had read into them before. So the General Assembly went to work and they decided to amend the Tennessee Constitution to bring it up to the same level as the federal Constitution. So we don't want to see anyone have an abortion. But if they've been granted that right by the federal government, we want to make sure in Tennessee they do it in a place that's safe.
As Christians, we know that at the beginning of time, the book of Genesis, we see God creates the heavens and the earth so that it could sustain life. And it's there that God breathes life into humanity. From there all the way through time to the end of the Bible, in the book of Revelation, we see that God is still about life. In fact, in Revelation, there's trees of life. There's a river of life. God is all about life. We see at one point in time, God says the power of life and death is ours to choose. And He said, but His desire is that we would choose life. We know that Jesus came to give us eternal life and life even now that is abundant, that is overflowing. And so life for us as apprentices of Jesus is a biblical value. It's a way of the kingdom. And so my hope is that this November when you go out to vote, that you would stand on the ethics, the values of the kingdom, and that is for life.